Is this thing on? Hey, it's on. So, good evening, good afternoon, good day, depending on where you are in the world. I'm going to turn my lights on because, boy, it's been a minute. It's been a day. It has been a day. You take one day off because you're not feeling well, then you go to do it and everything goes wrong. Go figure. So, welcome to Southern. We're in Georgia? Yeah, we're in Georgia. But welcome back. We're going to be here on the Chase the Cup series again for the second trip to Atlanta. This time we're coming from the south instead of the north. We're going to be Florida, Georgia, kind of close together here. Doesn't matter. Uh, anyway, what a day. Um, where am I? Streaming. Yes, Chase the Cup series. We're going to Atlanta again from the south this time. Uh, yeah, I took Tuesday off. I just wasn't feeling well. Just wasn't in the mood to stream. I was just exhausted, just absolutely just knackered. Uh, so being in front of the camera was not something I was up to doing. But I'm doing better. New day, and gosh, it wanted to throw me a curveball. So, but we're here. Before we get started, do have a special announcement coming from SimWings. And it's a short read, but I'm going to read it right off the bat. SimWings are delighted to announce a fourth recipient of the project. We have now identified another successful candidate, enabling yet another young person to take to our virtual skies. This could only have been achieved with your amazing generosity. Without your donations and your support, SimWings project could never have realized this young man's dreams, and for that we thank each and every one of you in this amazing community. Our fourth recipient, I can't even talk right. That's normal. Our fourth recipient is a young man that has been active in various aspects of flight simulation and within our community for almost 6 years. Very active member of the community, offering continued support for others in chat during pardon me, live streams, and even has applied his knowledge to become a VATSIM controller. We eager eagerly look forward to seeing our captain take to the virtual skies from his new computer, both from the flight deck and also from his control tower as a VATSIM controller. Stay tuned for more details as we arrange the purchase of this equipment, and when we will announce our mystery captain's identity. Also, stay tuned around the YouTube and Twitch communities in the coming weeks. There are some seriously cool giveaways on various flight sim streams, all being sponsored by the SimWings project. SimWings doing the Lord's work, doing good things, and awesome to hear that they have found their next recipient. I'm going to drink some water before my voice, crackles even more. Or before I swallow my tongue, whichever comes first. So yeah, cool. SimWings is doing awesome stuff, and it's good to hear they found their next recipient. So now I shall go over to the chat and start saying hello to people. We got Wayland. Good evening to you. Kozaki is here. Good to see you. Dougal McTavish is in. Yes. A bit late. Had the not as bad as some have had it, but I got the gaming content. Was a gaming services bug. Luckily, I just had to go into settings, did a repair on it, and it was fine. So that's what I get for doing a Windows update today. Yeah. Viper Strikes here. Good to see you. Scorpio arriving late. Mrs. Scorpio's impeccable timing dinner called for it. Oh dear. No worries. I was a little late myself. Kingsman9965 is here. Good to see you as always, my friend. Alaska559 with the follow and the sub. Many thanks, dude. I really appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. I saw you were doing a stream today. I hope I'm not stepping on your toes. Scorpio49, good evening. Shuffle Shoes is here. I'm doing better, thanks. Hope you're well. Google McTavish finally got the DC-6 in the air today. Hey, got it in there, and that's all that matters. Good job, dude. Splasher sips with the Splasher. I can't talk. Splasher 6 with the sub. Many thanks, dude. Kozaki waiting to buy the DC-6 until my new PC gets here. Nice. Tuto Murphy with the host. Many thanks, my dude. Live weather is interesting because we're still kind of on the outskirts of hurricane or tropical storm Elsa, which would have been more appropriate during the winter, but hey, whatever. So it's going to be really interesting, kind of being on the outskirts of the storm. I did some flying on my own last night in the sim, in and around the storm, and it was pretty hairy. Yep, no problem, Dougal. Noel K is in. Good to see you. Draco is also here. Good to see you as well. Da, 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 da. All right. Seems we are all caught up. So we are, in fact, today flying for the first time on stream the Just Flight Piper Arrow. I know it's been streamed to death, and that's exactly why it's taken me this long to actually fly it on stream. It is beautifully done, and it has a lot of awesome systems to it. I will never discount the quality that has gone into it. So, but that being said, I'm only showing it now because finally starting, to chill with the popularity. So yeah, but it's well done. So here it is. And we're going to be doing today's flight. The flight plans are available on Discord as always in a zip file. Route is always in the stream title. Should be. Wait. Yeah, it's there. But I'm going to be doing this by VOR. No magenta line. So let's cross our fingers and hope I know what I'm doing. For a cockpit substitute. Nice. Gonna get in the old cockpit here. Open that window because it's gonna be hot in the neck of the woods. So ventilation is very important. Okay, so make sure our trim is neutral. Throttle is correct. Left tank selected. Left the mag switch. Battery dome light, I left that on too, apparently. Hitting beacon. Have lights on. Your rich. Prop forward. Engine start. Hit the get our altimeter set. Make sure that's set. So the first VOR we're going to be flying to is the Seminole Vortac at 117.5. 117.5. RD on. Standby on transponder. Kingsman, yes. East USA. We're squawking VFR. Yeah, I think we're good. It always helps to take out the wheel chocks. It's a bit stormy, but that's all right. We're kind of on the outskirts of all the stormage, so we should be all right. Okay, we want to set our nav1 to 039 degrees. Jabiru sitting there. Cross the runway, so we're going to turn the strobe lights on. Cross. Strobe light off as we're on the other side of it. But we'll toss them immediately back on along with the landing light. We get into position. We'll also close our little window here. And flaps down. Is getting rolling, so we're just gonna get going. Doing weird things in the wind, Tokyo Drift. A little bit of a crosswind. Positive rate gear coming up. Nose up trim going on. Goblins here, good to see you. 300 feet, flaps coming up. Look at that. The lake, or ocean, bay. Neutralize the trim. Kingsman, instead of an I, use an exclamation point. So we haven't quite picked up the VOR just yet. So we're gonna head in the general direction of where we're going. There you go. Hey, Brick, how you doing? And just there, we caught the VOR. So we got that selected on the nav. We're gonna go ahead and enable the autopilot. And according to the DME, we're about a little over 58 miles. About half hour. See, who needs a GTN 750? Yet, radio is good enough. Oh, Dougal, no! So we're going to also get it ready. We'll set this one for the same frequency, so 117.5. But we're going to set the dial to 356 degrees. Yeah, it is. I don't know if it's been downgraded to a tropical storm yet, but there is what was once Hurricane Elsa nearby. It's kind of off to the west a ways. And so those are good. We're still getting on the radial. Start getting our engine set for cruise. Yeah, Dougal, it's a love-hate relationship sometimes. Not seeing anyone. I should be on the USA server. Give it a minute. Servers may be going up and down. Did I make a typo? I made a typo. I made an oopsie that I can fix it now. I fixed that oopsie. And I fixed that one. Oops. Kozaki's on my right. I see ya. Okay, so we've got the power set. Now we just need to trim. No music and sound. No. Yeah, thanks, Noah. I hadn't realized I typoed that. My apology. They're making that turn onto the radial. Now I know I'm kind of going like this a lot, but that's just because I'm trimming out the aircraft. I'm trying to get it level for the power setting that we're at. That's realistically what you want to do when you don't have an altitude hold. Arborchetta, Kozaki, Wayland's there. Probably others that I can't see because of reason. Oh, there's Scorpio. I was having fun doing that yet. Yeah. Well, and Fabio's kind of been my inspiration for learning how to do radio nav and kind of going without the magenta line. And it's actually a lot of fun because it's kind of a challenge. Roger that, Kingsman. So it seems like we've got her trimmed out. Now we're gonna go in. Not letting us see the outside air temperature, which is not helpful. Roughly, anyway. So our ground speed is really 142 knots, but we're indicating right around 120. Uh-oh. Yeah, if you spawned in at Kilo Alpha Foxtrot Foxtrot, that's my bad. I may have typoed it. I duplicated the wrong letter. So that one's on me. That didn't have anything. It's warm. Ah. Well, if you spawned in at KAAF, that's the right place. We're just north. Or you did something wrong, maybe? There's Kingsman. We got Dougal. Yeah, no kidding. What a day. What a day. Whoops, that will do it. So I do like the Piper Arrow from Just Flight. It's very well made. I'm a Cessna person. So it's just like, this is good, and I do enjoy flying it. I want more Cessna. I like Cessna. I like high wing because it's better for viewing the ground. Because you don't have the giant wing in the way. I do like it, Kingsman. Roger that, Dougal. But it's just I'm a Cessna person at heart, so the Piper is nice. If someone puts out a Cessna to this level, I'd be a happy camper. Drago, no, this is the regular. Yeah, so that 170 has been overdue for like 2 or 3 weeks now. And my thought is, because usually when they do release on a Friday, it's usually around 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So here in the U.S., so whatever that is over, that's what, 2 a.m. British time. But it's usually once Microsoft puts out the blog update or the dev blog update. It's usually when it becomes available in the marketplace, and they just updated the marketplace, so who knows? There's Draco. That's fair, Dougal. It's like most of my life's been spent in a Cessna, so I'm just inherently biased. What is today? Not that I have anything wrong with Pipers or low wings in general, it's just I much prefer Cessnas. Here's an updraft. Jeez, Draco. Kozaki watched an AN 124 takeoff on BitJet TV. Nice. We can get away with a bit more manifold. I've been having those for a while. It was happening only when I was on live weather, and then it seems to have been okay. It's no way of knowing what's causing it, which is the really unfortunate thing. If there was a particular way of saying X is causing it, or even a log saying that X is causing it, that'd alleviate so much headache. All kinds of button pushing. Huh. We'll see what happens with the big update in a couple of weeks. Who knows if it'll actually, alleviate some of those problems. One can hope. One can hope. I'm pretty sure I shouldn't be flying the X-Cub further down. What do you think? Yeah. Well, the X-Cub at least has the big Garmin in it. But where I'm at, it's actually kind of nice. It's Wayland off there. So 24 miles from the VOR. This hasn't been in somewhere. Just Flight Arrow? No, I don't believe it's in there yet. The Coronado one is. And I really like the Coronado one. There's nothing wrong with the Coronado one. It's not as in-depth as this one is, but that's not a bad thing. It has all the functions that most people need. And I think the big reason why they kept the Just Flight has kept this Arrow out of the marketplace is because you can get either the Arrow, the Turbo Arrow, or you can get a bundle and save some money. And so I think they're trying to work with Microsoft on how can we get this to work in the InSim marketplace, but they haven't gotten there yet. Well, we've only got one VOR before our first stop. So we're going to stay on the Seminole Vortac at 117.5, land at Bada. Then we'll try to pick up the Ifala Vortac, which is 109.2. It will. I think they just got to figure out how they want to do it, and they've got to work with Microsoft on making it work the way they need it to. I mean, they're slightly different from each other. Whether it's better or worse, I've not flown a real thing, so I couldn't really say. I like the autopilot in the Coronado one a lot better. So they're just different. You know, this one's replicating and representing a more classic one, so from like the 70s ish, whereas the Coronado one's representing more of a modern one. Yeah, and that's really what it boils down to, is just preference. Like, I dig the aesthetic of this one, but, you know, it's not a deal breaker for me. Like, I actually think the autopilot in the upcoming Piper Warrior from Just Flight is better than the one that this has. Jeez, Draco, you're just having all kinds of issues today. Kozaki, Arbuchetta, Whalen, Dougal. Kingsman's up there. Scorpio, I think. So we're right. That's Lake Talquin. We're just about to fly over, which means we're right close to DOR. This up here is Lake Jackson. Looks like it might be Tallahassee. Over off screen. Goblins loading in, nice. Excuse me. You off, Shuffle Shoes? Good to have you along. Or is that just for answering the question? Random power loss. We're 11.4 miles out. That's definitely Tallahassee. Ah, gotcha. Gotcha. Just wanted to make sure I was understanding things right. You know what I mean? Here's Dougal. Here's... Oh, closed captioning can be funny sometimes. Only by considering the direct to. Neat. Actually, it's not that far off course from first stop. A little bit, but not by drastic amount. We're about 5 miles out now. I just have you the velocity with. I'll have to look that up. like the long EZ, but with... Here you go. So that's the field in which our VOR is residing. Little airport right next to it, which is Tallahassee Commercial. How you doing, Tio? Happy Thursday. I'm hanging in there. Just about to enter what is called the zone of confusion on the VOR on our wonderful flight route in Georgia today, on our way to the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Okay, we're under a mile. Switch to heading mode. Like KAAF-2. We're going away now. So we're off nav 2 now. So we're aiming to intercept that radial. And it should be only 31 nautical miles to our first stop at Vada. Not the turbo, just the regular Aero. Just the normally aspirated one. We're not going over mountain. We're flying at high altitudes. Seems like 56, okay. I see what it's doing. It's going on this instead of these. Fine. That's how we learn. We make mistakes, and that's how we learn. As Fabio has once said, getting a private pilot's license is the license to learn. Not that I have a private pilot's license, but in aviation, there's always something to learn somewhere. There's always skills to work on, to improve. Okay, so when I change this or this, it changes the other one. Gotcha. The new 140, yes, I have. I absolutely love it. I wish they hadn't chose. Here's my stance on the 140. I love it. It has some bugs. They're working on it. They're going to address it. They've actually said that they're hoping to get a hot fix out this weekend. My only personal complaint about it is, why did they choose the G1000 for the modern radio? I'm okay with having a modern radio in there, especially because they made it hideable. I'm okay with that. But I think putting the G1000 in there was a bad idea. It would have made more sense for them to put in the GNS 530 or the GNS 430 and the Bendix autopilot. And maybe and a transponder. It didn't need to go to the G1000. The G1000 is so out of place in a 140, it's silly. It would, but a 530, a 430 with a couple of Bendix radios, no transponder and autopilot would have been perfect. That's my only complaint with it. Other than that, I absolutely love the 140. Yeah. I mean, you're talking about a radio system that's worth just about as much as the airplane itself, and that just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You're right, Tio, and I agree that's probably why they did it. I just think it was a bad idea. I think it was the wrong move. Again, my opinion. I still enjoy the aircraft regardless. I just don't use the G1000. I don't touch it. I pretend like it doesn't exist. It does that radio system does not match the airplane. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, the retro panel is really cool. It makes me think of a 1955 Chevrolet Bel Air. You know, cars of that period of time were very Art Deco, and it looks amazing. My only complaint will continue to be, it's just, why did they pick the 1000? Just, they should have picked something else. They should have picked a radio set suite that made much more sense. But it is what it is. They're going to do what they're going to do, and I'm still going to like flying the plane. I'd be down with that too, Tio. But no, that's it. That's their call at the end of the day. Like I said, I still enjoy the airplane. Minus 15 miles, so we're about halfway. See the major railroad or highway, that'll put us a little past halfway. That looks like it right there. Yep. So that is Bainbridge. And there's Cairo Grady County over in that direction. It'd be the more wise approach. They'd please new players in the hard. Yeah. I don't disagree. It's just, at the end of the day, they're not going to listen to anything I say. I mean, I have a small channel and I have opinions, but no, it is what it is. Kind of like them putting the G1000 in the Mustang. It's just like, that was a real curveball. Another airplane that was just like, why would you? That doesn't make sense. But whatever, it's their software. They can do it how they want. It doesn't have to make sense to me. I've driven through Indian Bridge, going to Palm Beach. Nice. Excuse me. Get a read on some windage. Yeah, 2.7 would probably be the best. That. Took the Aero 3. Nice. Yep, we'll do runway 27 then. Look at that. This is why I like running real weather. You get such a unique look at the world. It's just neat. See, it's real gloomy down south. Doesn't look great going north. But right here, it's kind of pretty. Nowhere in the cloud. Oh, but absolutely, Kingsman. Absolutely. So we're about 5 miles out. Probably start considering a descent. I'll actually disengage the autopilot. dear. You're coming down. Yeah. Those are the best kinds, Kozaki. Some of the best kinds. Right there. That's off-putting. Really off-putting. And CTD, maybe. Yep, there it went. So it's either a P40, which it sounds kind of like a P40, maybe a Corsair, or potentially even the Carenado Arrow. Causing noise overlap. Yeah, it is what it is. Not like I wasn't expecting it to happen. Would it really be a flight sim stream if we didn't have a CTD? That's the real question. Good evening, Allison. How are you to this fine evening? Hope work doesn't have you down too much. No, it's kept you busy the last couple of weeks. You're not late, Allison. You arrived exactly when you needed to. You're never, ever... I called you Allison, right? Did I say something else? I probably said something else. My brain, Swiss cheese. But you're not late. You arrived exactly when you needed to. That's all that matters. Ooh, pardon me. So I cleaned up the stuff that I have on the stream screen a little bit, like up in this corner. I used to have the events list. It's still there. It just only pops out when something happens. And chat's right here. Got a promotion, nice pay raise, but work's exploded. That's how it works, doesn't it? It's well-deserved success, though, Allie. I'm sure you do a phenomenal job at what you do. $42. And you know what they say, idle hands are the devil's playground, so keeping you busy is like keeping you out of trouble, right? Yes? Waylon's off for the night. Glad to have you along. You take care, and we will catch you next time. All right. May have missed everybody's landings, but I'm going to get mine in. Minus a parking brake. Got everyone in sight. Landing strip in sight. Notch flaps down. Aren't too bad. Rainbow is pretty amazing, isn't it? Bars. Got a air. The fire there. We're back on the runway. Braking. 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 Come on. Here we go. All right. That's what. It's somebody's farm, that's for sure. Okay, so next VOR is 1092. At a heading of 9. This is heading 6. Hey, Arctic Turn, how you doing, dude? I'm doing all right. Just recovering from a bit of a CTD, but other than that, doing fantastic. Look at that windsock go. Giving her socks. Flaps coming up. We're here on our way to the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Let's see, I may or may not be watching. Hey, comfort is king, as the saying goes. Caught it? Stopped here at the parking brake. We're gonna do something real quick. There we go. All right. Notch flaps down. Clear the window. Oh yeah, that's Kingsman, our very, very dear friend. Uh-oh, parking brake off. Toe brakes on. Little up trim. Full beans. Release the Kraken. Oh no, Cessna no, Cessna no, Cessna no, Cessna no. Ooh! How's this brake gear coming up? That wasn't a Cessna, that was a Cessna. No! Woo! Barely missed it. Missed it by this much. Why is the rub gone? Okay, that's coming up. Jackie. Oh. Our bruschetta is in a field. Why is the rum gone? Question. My rum isn't gone. It's sitting on top of my fridge. I do recognize the quote, however. The rum's okay. Allison Johnson being a legend, absolute legend, gifting 5 Tier 1 subs to the community, going out to Arctic Turn, Fraser Watt, Baranox010, Foxtrot, and Patty140. Many thanks, Allison. It's very, very generous and kind of you. Reese Chandler is here. Buenas tardes. Arrow 3, yes. How did I get the red name tags? They are the CPVR nameplates. Hey, Captain Seppi, how you doing? Good to see you, Cap. Waiting to pick up our VOR. Yeah, I'm doing better. I was feeling exhausted on Tuesday. I was just dead to the world, basically, for the most part. I'm recuperated. Excuse me. We're flying down in Georgia. On our way to Atlanta. No worries, Captain Seppi. No worries at all. Just waiting to pick up that pesky VOR. For now, we can think our heading up. 329. Fine. Setting on, setting mode, AP selected. I just, part of it was the racing, because I did basically 6 hours worth of racing in 2 days, and that kind of, I'm not used to doing that kind of exertion. So that kind of didn't help. The weather's been up and down. My sinuses have been acting up. It's just Tuesday was not a fun day. That's sort of, it's atrocious. I look at it this way, I can't please everyone. So we're at least on the right heading. We're just waiting to pick up the Vortag. I don't think we need to climb so aggressively. Here's to play well last night. All clubs go out the window and oh yeah. I do think Modup's in the turbo arrow. And just look at this. There's Kingsman down there. Got Kingsman down there. We've got Dougal, Kozaki, Echo Charlie, Scorpio, Evil Cookie, I don't think he's with us, Modip. We're all flying together. 498, so 5 out of 6, 4. Wait, when Microsoft Flight Sim's live weather works, it's awesome. When it doesn't work, it's frustrating. Like the sim itself. We're still waiting to pick up that VOR. 4,500. I don't want to start. Trimming out for cruise. About as far as I can get with the guard on there. Temperature is 16 degrees. We're at call it 5,000 feet. Our true airspeed set. We're good until we start picking up that VOR. Yeah, BORs have been hit and miss for me. Some of them haven't worked at all. Some haven't worked until I'm real close. Some will be 100 miles out, and I'll pick it up. It's a little odd, but what it is. It can be a little hit and miss in terms of precision. EGPH started the other day was few 008. Broke out of the closet 2000. Yeah. No, it's hitting and miss over here too. So it's just when it works, it's phenomenal. When it doesn't work, it's kind of like, nice try. Or it's just clear skies and winds. Well, we're at least on the right heading. We'll get a more precise. We'll pick it up when we pick it up. Not gonna. Fret too much. So, keep on. Great take. Wait 5 seconds. Pump off. Still have pressure. Picking up all kinds of new skills from flying Fabio. It could be down to the synchronization. It's just giving up. Yeah. It could be a weather station's down or something. Who knows? There's any number of reasons why it could be a little off. But it's okay. Quite a few other folks in here. Yeah. I think there's a lot of folks tracking ELSA. Or what's left of ELSA. I mean, admittedly, I did a little bit of that myself. Albeit I did it in the 140, which is really interesting, but, you know, kind of the, you don't take a little Cessna 140 into what used to be a Hurricane. Not something you do, but it's flight sim, so it's okay. Yeah, the Orion, you're gonna be set. Fraser Watts here. Good to see you, dude. Hope you're well. It's definitely getting there. We're getting an updraft right now, followed by some downdrafts. And per what Fabio did, it's a lot easier to let the plane do it. It's less stressful on the airframe to just let it do its thing than to try and fight it. You'll put on less stress to the airframe by just letting it go up, do the roller coaster. We're tuned to EUF, yes. So 109.2. Yeah, it's getting kind of fun. It starts getting too fun. I'm gonna probably take it off live and something a little more stable. Galileo, Galileo, Galileo Figaro. I wish I knew the words. I can lip sync it, but I cannot for the love of me sing it or remember the words. Classic song though. Yeesh, these updrafts and downdrafts are bonkers, and when I am seeing training lessons are hardly any odds of things. Yeah. Getting all kinds of updrafts and downdrafts here. Oh boy. Finally, this is better. Yeah, no, 100% Kingsman. That's part of why I tried to stick to real weather as much as I can, because it helps me practice my skills, keeps me current, in a sense. Now that's why I split up my flights the way I do, where we have 3 stops, because that helps. It helps break up the flight. It's more fun, or at least I think that it would be more fun to have 3 shorter legs instead of 2 long legs, because that also helps me be a more proficient pilot. You know, because I love having fun in this and doing whatever, but at the end of the day, I do want to use this as a tool, so when I go back to real world flight training, I'm not having a bunch of bad habits, where I'm learning things and I'm being proficient with them. There's still a lot of other things that I need to learn, but I want to be able to, when I can get back to real flight training, I can hit the ground running. You know, because of the time spent in the sim. You know, and you know, Two-Tone Murphy got me back into flight sim, and you know, I'm eternally grateful for that. Flying Fabio has helped me want to get back into flight training for real, with the knowledge that he imparts. You know, Murph has helped me find the fun in the sim, because before with flight sim I'd kind of putz around my home state. I wouldn't go very far because it was FSX. I mean, it looked okay, but we hit the VOR. So we're going to switch to nav mode. But we never turned on our transponder. But, you know, Murph helped me find the fun in the sim again. Just fly around and explore and just be in awe of the world. Fabio's definitely helped me get into remembering and practicing real skills. Why do you keep doing that? That airplane. Yeah. So that's one of the reasons why I break up my flights the way I do, because I would rather have 3 shorter legs to get me more landings, more takeoffs. I'd still cut corners here and there. It is still the sim. I need to get more proficient with checklists and pre-flighting and run-ups and that sort of thing. You know, Fabio's helped me a great, huge ton with just his streams on navigation. You know, but there's a lot of the basics. Like I know for a fact that in a pinch I can fly an airplane. I can land it. but there's a lot of the technical knowledge, the book learning that I have yet to do, and that's stuff that I would love to get into. And using the sim as an avenue for that is just awesome. I really enjoyed being skilled and worked hard. It's much more satisfying. I went for a club checkout in 172 with a different instructor who heard about my flying. Dutch guy said, "Now you can fly well," so I'm gonna super nitpicky. Honestly, I wasn't trying, but my God, for some reason I couldn't climb at a set speed. Circuits at 900 feet or 1100 feet instead of 1000. Too fast on approach, too slow, etc., etc. Ended up spending entire checkout getting whipped. Oof. And see, and then that's one thing that I would love to do in the sim with Fabio is, have a check ride, if for no other reason, to have a litmus test of where is my learning at? Because it's been probably just shy of 20 years since I've had a flight lesson. Lucky for me, a lot of this flying stuff's just been ingrained in my brain, having been around it since I was a kid. So a lot of the core mechanics I just remember to this day. But I'd love to get like a check ride with Fabio and be like, okay, this is a litmus test. This is what I know. This is what I don't know, and what do I need to work on? And that would be amazing. Now, obviously, I wouldn't want to, if that's not something you want to do, I'm not going to pressure him into it, but I would enjoy that, because that's going to help me learn, okay, what do I need to practice? What do I need to get better at? And it's that training, and that's why it's just that's part, a lot of why I do what I do when I do my flights, is I want to be able to hit the ground running when I finally get back into real flight training, because I would really love to get my pilot's license. It's something I've wanted for as long as I can remember. But in a lot of ways, I'm very, very out of practice, and I need all the help I can get. And Fabio has such a wonderful wealth of knowledge. His charismatic way of teaching is just so wonderful to go through. And it helps with the education process, because not only is it educational, but he teaches in such a way that's entertaining. So a lot of that, it keeps your attention. Or at least me, it keeps my attention, and the information tends to stick. If the way that the information being taught's boring, I'm gonna nod off, and I'm not gonna pay as close of attention as I should. That's not, there's no excuse for not paying attention, but it makes it easier when you're actually, quite honestly, being entertained. So it's a little insight of why I do things the way I do things. Because one day I would love to get my pilot's license. The sim's gonna be able to get me. Captain Jack Lyle just joined in. Kingsman Druids is Kozaki. Audip. Captain Jack Lyle, Echo Charlie. Druids. Ooh, got a WADA there. Set of books, Hans. Now, Reese, correct me if I'm wrong. Are you in Europe? Because the way they do it in Europe is slightly different than the way they do it here in the U.S. So there's a slight difference here. Hey, Joey Bolo, happy belated birthday, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Hope your flight last night went awesome in Italy with the DC-6. Yeah, so there's going to be a few differences, Reese, but I've got some old books, which is a lot of the theories. Excuse me? Alrighty then. I must have. I've displeased the Asobo gods. Are we cool? It surely has, Kingsman. IFR with the side of X-Files. It's nice that you made it to Nice, at least. The DC-6 is amazing. It's really, really amazing. Even if, for me, I just use the AFE, and it's still rewarding. But as I was trying to say to Reese before my plane turned itself off, that's weird. I have some old books. I have to find them. I still have my E6B. I still have my logbook. So I still have a lot of my old materials. And a lot of that theories and processes and stuff haven't changed much. Laws have the most, but the principles of flight haven't really changed. So a lot of that's easy. Yeah, 100%, Reese. Yeah, Kingsman, you're going to love it. Yeah, we're definitely in IMC, though. Honestly, we should probably be about out a few clouds at 3,300 feet. Okay, good. There's about 1,000 feet. %, Reese. I do appreciate it. Goblin Non-Offending Airlines. See, that's why I say the DC-6 gets a pass on being a gig nut. It's steam gauges, it has props on it, and for all intents and purposes, it's flown as more of a GA plane nowadays in a lot of ways. I mean, airliners don't use it. Right? You know, there is some commercial flights with it, but they're more for like cargo up in like Alaska. I've thought of picking up the CRJ, but that's like the only airliner that I have any thought of picking up. But the DC-6 was, I needed it. Just such a good looking airplane. And it flies beautifully. I need to find my old flying books. I mean, it wouldn't kill me to get a new copy of Far Aim. It wouldn't kill me to get a couple of new books. You know, just so everything's as up to date as possible. Lucky for me, my dad is a former CFI, so I can pick his brain till the cows come home. Might actually do him some good too, just, you know, refresh his knowledge a bit. Get the 707. Oh yeah, if airliners all had something like an AFE, you know, but at the same time, they're still too high and too fast for the most part. The DC-6 is nice to fly at lower levels, like even at 11,000 feet. That's as high as I need to go, 11, 12,000 feet. Only, yeah, 100% Reese. 100%. Hundo percento. Can't wait for us having shared cockpit. Oh, dude, yeah. Shared cockpit. I mean, shared cockpit in general is going to be amazing to have. But to have that, especially with the DC-6, holy crap. Hey, you're help to the channel, so so it kind of never really took off. Yeah. Hey, you're helping. You make the rounds in the community, Reese. So you know you're quite welcome. Yes, please. 500 nautical miles upstream. That's great. 7,000. Yeah. DC-6 is definitely in a league of its own when it comes to Microsoft Flight Sim aircraft. But I'd really like to then. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I just want to be, at the very least, I want to be able to see the ground, just in case. Yeah, I think the Corsair got a lot better with the update. Sure is, Kingsman. Not jumping out of bedding. Nah, I ain't jumping out of bedding. We're gonna land, but there ain't no jumping. We're kind of riding the line between Alabama and Georgia. Getting closer to the bottom of these clouds. Seven miles to the VOR. We're in the middle of the soup. Still looks amazing. We're about to enter another cloud. Still on. Now still there. Definitely in the rain. 5 miles out. Once we hit the zone of confusion, we're going to switch over to heading mode. So we're still kind of descending. Almost see the ground. On 11:14. That the localizer? Oh, never mind. Your DME. Just got contact, Roger. 3,000. Yeah, we can get the IMC rating finished off. 13 more hours and stuff. Bar stuff. Yeah. I'm looking forward just to get some flight lessons in. I've got like 5 hours logged total. My only real asset has always been the fact that I've been around aviation my entire life, so a lot of the stuff is just ingrained into my head watching my grandpa fly for years. Of course, the older I got, the more I was actually paying attention to what he was doing. Okay, we're just above Whedon. A little bit longer and we'll switch to heading mode. Zone of confusion, switch to heading mode. Now we move this to 016. Can I found out that if you leave the arrow on lock mode to the zone of confusion, that it just holds it to your face. That's what I hadn't tried it out. Well, my logic is, and this could be very, very flawed. Fine, how we learn. My logic is simply that I get the heading mode set up knowing the heading that I need for the next leg. So I get the heading mode set up so I can just flip it on, start the turn, and by the time I'm in the middle of the turn, I'm set and ready to go with all the changes to the nav equipment. And I can, ooh, there's an updraft. Boy, that's an updraft. That way, by the time I turn it back on the nav mode, I'm all set and ready to go. Yeah. Too many trees, Kozaki? Oh dear. Theoretically, I can get this set up. To where once this is straight up and down, we should be right at our airfield. Because I ain't seeing anything right now. We are deep into the soup. I don't know what's right, but I set that heading to the current via wire and then change frequency just to let up. I think that it works in different ways. Yeah. Hopefully visual. Being very how you say, optimistic that I could do visual approach. I'm just hoping to find the airport and be able to land. Why do you keep doing this, airplane? He keeps putting the parking brake on and lowering the flaps. Stop it. Oop, we got ground. And 1-5 for win. ILS is 110.7, roger. What's the ILS for 1-5? Or is there no runway ILS for 1-5? So ILS down. Bottom of the cause, right? According to the current ATIS, winds are 200, and 1-5's a lot better than. Uh, 110-1933. No ILS on 1-5. No, we may have to go without an ILS. Because if the winds are better, I'd rather land with the wind. Visibility's not good. Yeah, it doesn't look great. There's smokestack, river. I can kind of see the ground. This is going to be exciting. Below average sim pilot tries to land in IMC tonight at 11. Tomorrow we pick through the wreckage and see what's left. And I thought this would be a good idea. I did not land when I made an exercise to find and follow it. Nice. I don't want that. Back to... miles out. I just got an email from Milviz. Wind 243 at 14. 1.5 still better. It's still a heck of a fucking. Still a heck of a freaking crosswind. I see you, Druid Zeus. I see your lights. I busted min-max. We see the ground, that's good. Ground is good. I can see the ground, it means I won't hit the ground unexpectedly. I'll just see it coming. Kazaki's flying the glide slope, roger. We're 2 miles out. Hill's coming down. Autopilot is coming off. Go into straight visual mode. Well, manual mode. At the ground. I saw the air. I thought it. Yep, there's the airport beacon. There's the runway. On the runway. That's coming in. I'm gonna make this a short final, I reckon. Not just have some low. Generally, I'm seeing a ride should be. Yep. Well, today we're just getting hit. We're hitting the deck and getting on the ground. Bug, not now. Kozaki coming in. Ooh, okay, stay towards the center lines. Laps coming up. Take next taxiway. We're off the runway. Recognition lights coming off. Okay, strobes. There's Kingsman. Daniel Cash is here. Gonna park it off to the side here. Parking brake set. Our avionics off. Light off. All right. Eggs. Fuel. Let's see. Can't get below. There seems to be a little click spot right here. Or no, it's this. We got Scorpio and a Bonanza. We got somebody's name's not popping up. There it is. Echo Charlie. Dude Zeus. Annual Cash. Kozaki's in. John Legoman's inbound. Arbishezen. Yeah, it was fun. It was sure something. Ow, my head. Yep, that was a crosswind, alright. So we are definitely not using live weather for the last leg of the trip. Got Sean Legoman in PC-12. It's definitely more of a challenge, but we want to be able to see the speedway when we get to it. So we'll make a compromise. We've used live weather for the most part. Check out Fort Bragg's 240SX. I've been lurking. Next thing you know, he actual cockpit realizes. Osborne in 500. I disagree that it should require a pilot's license. This is what you call a gateway. This, this can get a lot of people into aviation and learning those skills. If you gatekeep it and keep people from even experiencing it on any level, well, then no one's going to get into it. Nice, Kozaki. You have a good one, Kingsman. I'm glad you could be here. You take care of yourself, and we will see you next time. There's Benevol coming in, land. Another beach boat. I also disagree that the flight sim skills don't translate to the real world. They do. A lot of the procedures and our navigation and other skills do transfer. So I disagree wholeheartedly at that point. Alright, so we're going to keep our eye in the cockpit for a minute. We're going to go with our lovely, wonderful favorite default of scattered clouds for the remainder of the flight. Hey, look, the rain's gone. I can see clearly now. The rain went away. Trying to not get copyright strike. Okay. Alright. So Reflector left. Yeah, so when that doesn't get down, you hit the lock, it'll go down. Lock's engaged, it won't go past 4. If you fancy to learn to fly, streaming is prep for the Oshkosh fly-in Saturday at 6. Fair enough. Yeah, we're kind of trying to plan our own, a bit more casual fly-in to Oshkosh, using a whole broader community between Two-Tone, Fabio, and whoever else wants to be involved. We're trying to make an event out of it, so it should be fun. Okay, so mixture's full, throttle is cracked. That's good. Both. Start. Have lights. We don't. Don't have a set date. We want to get people involved first, and I'm hoping the week before the real Oshkosh, which is not next week, but the week after. We're at 1200 RPM. That's good. You want to tune to 117. There goes standby at zero. 6. Let this do it. This 6. Selected. Good. These. Back the mixture a little bit so we don't foul the plugs. Clyde from nowhere, have you been watching the horse racing? I definitely don't watch horse racing, but that's cool. Alright, so we're going to taxi down to runway. That's an odd sound. Adam's handler. Follow. Many thanks, dude. Well, hello. How you doing? Pull back up just a little bit. Well, my day's going pretty good. It got kind of a little rocky start, but it's going pretty great. I hope your day is going well. Right where it needed to go. Probably considered a bit of a fast taxi, but that's okay. I said it That's not a not a DC-6, no. That's a gig. Or just a static gig. That's okay. Down a little bit for the turn. Pardon me. Close that up, button it up. Okay, that was the second time that the engine has just randomly died. Gremlins are out tonight, folks. Alright, we'll stop here a minute. Let folks get caught up and ready to go. Recognition kind of like flat, landing like one notch of flaps down. Select left tank for takeoff. Moving well, so off we go into the wild blue yonder. Off we go into the sky. Got all our lights on. We're walking, talking, and spocking. Spocking. We need altitude mode. Something's up. Checking. Flaps down. Turning. I don't know. I honestly don't know what's going on. I blame gremlins. Slowly add the power in. Try to keep around the center line. Power. Trim. Ooh. Not. Up. Positive brake gear up. Get 300 feet, flaps up. Barbershetta. Do our left-hand turn. So, welcome to Fort Bragg, home of the 82nd Airborne, or as we Screaming Eagles refer to him nicely as the Flying Red Poles. They're officially known as the All-American. There's a rivalry between the 82nd Airborne and the 101st. And not only do I portray member of the 101st Airborne in historical reenacting, my grandfather was in the 101st, so nice friendly rivalry there. But welcome to Fort Bragg. There's the jump towers right here, where they do their practice jumps. I think it's right there. Yep, definitely right there. Also, one of the initial training centers for the United States Army. Echo Charlie still on the ground. Pop ourselves back into the cockpit. We're going to have activate autopilot mode. We're in nav mode, so pick up on nav 1, which is tuned to the Columbus VOR at 117.1. The short trip, we're already 14 miles out, so it's a real short trip to this VOR, but that'll get us on course to where we need to go. I want to know what this is. I want to know what this is. Like a tensioner? It's gotta be like a tensioner for the engine controls. I don't know. Strange and annoying that MSFS thinks my home ministry is used to close World War II airfield. It's half right, but the actual disused World War II airfield, which is now partly a go-kart track, is fully operational. Huh. Ronald Frickin? Okay. That's the only thing I could make that made sense. Well, speaking of disused World War II airfields and being used for racetracks, the old Pottery Airfield has an oval, or like a cement oval track in it, down in southeastern England or southwestern England. Got smokestacks. Miles to go. This is set up for our next leg. That's the word. So luckily it's going to be easy to find the speedway, as the speedway is directly adjacent to the airfield. So it's going to be super easy to find. Hey, it looks like we're trimmed out. Ow. You got the smug eye. Yeah, no, I've tried out the We Love VFR. I love it. It's actually really good. I thought it was going to have more of an impact on my system, but it doesn't. It's great. EL737RS is in the house. How you doing, dude? Hope you're well. There's about five new ones still active RAF on the field. The others are just used, overgrown, a go-kart track, or hold regular car boot seats. Ah, gotcha. Welcome back, Cap. We successfully made a very hairy landing into Fort Bragg in complete IMC, but we made it. We then changed the weather to scattered clouds for a more pleasant flight as we approach the Atlanta Motor Speedway. We're currently on our way to Columbus, Georgia. Flying Russian killer drive. Nice. I've heard very good things about the Hind. That's good. Yeah. There's weird logic with the flight sim nav data and whatever. I've got to double check to see if the Navigraph data is updated recently. There's a really tiny airstrip that has a bunch of wrecked planes on it that I used to land at around the ATL racetrack. Nice. Also, I used to land at a grass field down that way. Nice. That's awesome. There's Sean Legoman. So we can definitely tell that Atlanta's up here because everybody's in Atlanta. 2 miles to go with the VOR. We can turn off the fuel pump. Don't want to burn that out. Keto heat, we don't need that. Our nav lights are on. Nav lights are on. So our strobes and beacon. Landing light is also on. Looks like we're coming up on Columbus now. Half a mile to go, so we're going to wait until about quarter mile, put it over to heading mode. Shoot. You have a good one, Reese. Happy to have you along, and we'll check with you later. Okay, going to heading mode. Actually, we can go to that. Actually, no. Heading mode. That's engaged. 6. Back to nav. Okay, ATL, that's 116.9. What is bearing 45? So it is intercepting it, but we're going to use this to triangulate the position of the speedway. Not that we really need to, but Yeah, that strip is so small and so many junk planes are out of scope that I was not going to be one of them. The approach was right over an intersection. Once there was a car stopped at the stop sign. If you go over at about 50 feet, I believe it. I deduct. War Hamster is here. Hi, all and Colonel. Sorry, myself and the rest of the. Hey, no worries, Cammy. Y'all got a big show tomorrow, and we're all looking forward to it. Can't wait to see what you guys come up with, or have come up with. Things and stuff. I need to trim up just a hair. So we're on the line from the previous VOR. We're heading out. And it's only 58 miles. Boomsay. Got Hot Up, Sean Lego Man, Druid Zeus, Manuel Cash, Scorpio, Ozaki, Echo Charlie, right there. Our Bichetta and Benavolt are out that way. Yeah. Having a great flight today. Display is just a refinement of what we've been doing, but better and epic surprise. Nice. We don't even know what airport they're going to be at or what server they'll be on, but they're going to have an epic show. I'm hoping for Oshkosh, because what better a place to have an air show? That, or we save that until we do the community fly-in, hopefully the week before the real Oshkosh. We'll have to see how things go. So I've been talking with some folks. There's no set plans yet, but there's a lot of talks going on. We're looking to try to do it the week before, or somewhere in the week before the real Oshkosh. So not next week, but the week after. A lot of wheels moving right now, but we're looking to do it. Even if I have to do it on my own, we're going to do something. Forder's doing. Forder Learn to Fly is doing something on Saturday, but myself, or as far as myself and the two-tone community, the Flying Fabio community, and so on, we've got some talks started, but nothing's set in stone or official yet. But I will definitely keep people posted, because it's going to be, I want it to be awesome. And like I said, if I'm the only one doing it, we're still going to do it. No. Even if it turns out to be just a normal stream, and just me, I'm gonna do it. So, but I will definitely keep everybody in the loop as to what's going on. Nice. It really would, and you know, I'm not trying to get my hopes up or anything, because bad things happen when I do that. But I definitely, you know, it's a big event, and it could be big for Flight Sim. You know, I know Forder's doing his thing, but from as far as I can tell, it's only Forder doing that in his community. I want an event for the whole community to come in. You know, maybe be like an all-day thing. You have, you know, Fabio streaming in the morning. You get, you know, maybe me at midday, and then you know, two-tone at night, or you know, two-tone midday, and then me starting to get into the evening. And I just think it would be awesome to have like just a big event. Microsoft could get, if we could get Microsoft involved, that would be huge. But again, there's a lot of things I would like and I would love. But even if it's just mine, just me, my stream, and people flying along, I'll be happy. I will be happy. In fact, the other night, I took out the Just Flight Piper Arrow, normally S-graded, and I flew it. Actually, it was it last night or the night before? It might have been last night. Flew from one of my local airports, the one I actually flew out of for my flight training back almost 20 years ago. Flew VOR to VOR, no Magenta line, up the west coast of Michigan, flew over the lake and landed at Oshkosh at night. So I did it real time, real weather, and we had some stormy weather roll through, and it was an epic flight. And the feeling of doing that and making it there successfully was huge. Doing it live time, landing at night, starting off in the evening. It was just such an awesome feeling to get there successful. If I get Microsoft involved in my yeah. I think we'd all kind of like a piece of that pie. That's hey, we're nice and trimmed out. Nice. So we're at 19, roughly. So that puts us at about 39 nautical miles left. I want to do something for the community that would be unique. Maybe not so much unique, but something that would be really fun. Something that would get people's enjoyment. Something that would expose people to how awesome Oshkosh is. Because Oshkosh, there's a lot of people that don't know what Oshkosh is. Technically AirVenture, but whatever. There's a lot of people that don't know what it is, and it's essentially the mecca of aviation. It's a bucket list place to go. And it lasts a whole week. And it's such an awesome event to attend. You could stay there the entire time and not see everything. There's just so much going on. It's such a great event. As a wannabe second John, any kind of successful navigation. Yeah, no, 100%. Because I've been trying more and more to get off the Magenta line, to not use the Magenta line. And it's difficult sometimes. Like the stream that I was going to do Tuesday, it had so many things, but at the same time, I probably could have found ways to do it without the Magenta line. And I may still do that stream. I might do that next Tuesday just to make up for it. And I'm lazy and I don't want to make a new flight plan. But I'm just, for my own sake, I'm trying to get away from that easy GPS direct to navigation, because it's not hard to figure out how to do GPS navigation. It's just direct to, you plug in the things and you go. It's a much more challenging skill to do things by map and by VOR, because you have to know where you're at, and you might get it wrong. And I like that. I like it. It's a challenge. It's because if something happens and the people that own the GPS satellites go and turn it off for whatever reason, which they could do, what do you have left? You've got radio. So I think it's always good to hone those old school forms of navigation, because you never know when something's going to happen. You don't have the fancy stuff. Captain Butters, hey, how you doing? The 170's out? Nice. I'll have to pick it up after the stream. Yeah, and by You got eyes too. So you have eyes, you have your map, and being able to navigate just even off a map visually, is awesome, and that is a skill to hone. Whereas if you just solely rely on an FMS or a GPS to get you where you're going, are you really navigating, or are you letting a computer do it? So I like the challenge and the skill of knowing the more difficult skill. Yeah, exactly. There's that too, Goblin. You never know when a major solar flare. Well, I guess they track those sort of things, but solar flares can get interfered. There's any number of things, so you can't just put all your eggs in one basket, as it were. You have to know how to do the basics, which is one of the reasons why a lot of the big streamers that like to do nothing but airliners, I question whether they're really flying or not, because they're just plugging stuff into an FMS, which, to be fair, is its own challenge. But once you plug it in there, are you really flying, or are you just kind of monitoring a system? That's why I like the GA stuff. It's a lot more hands-on. I like hands-on. When you got streamers that like to that do the airliners, and I'm not saying anything bad against them. Everybody enjoys flight sim in their own ways, but you take those people and put them in a Piper and say navigate VORs, and they get scared doing it. I don't know. Do they really know how to fly, or they just know how to plug stuff in? Jin's an arrow, easy to find frequencies, but VOR, yeah. Our ROTC class practiced land navigation between monuments at night on Shiloh National Battlefield in February. Awesome. See, when I went through basic training in 2003, we still had a land nav course, and that was by far one of my favorite courses. I found out years afterwards that they had, for one reason or another, they took land nav out of basic Army basic training, which blew my mind. It's like, why would you do that? Why would you take that away? And then a few years later, so a couple years ago, they put it back in. I'm just like, it should have never left in the first place, because you need to know how to navigate on land. You lose GPS, you got to know where you are and how to get to where you want to go. So, soapbox over. That's just, it's my opinion. I'm very passionate about not relying on one source of something. You never want to put all your eggs in one basket, because if something happens to that basket, you're screwed. Sometimes you have to, because you don't have a choice, and it's a huge, huge risk. But whenever you can help it, it's things like communication, navigation. It's just like, I have handheld radios. I have a CB radio in my Jeep. Do I need it? Not really. I have a cell phone, but if something happens and those go down, I still have radio. Oh, 100% Kozaki, 100%. Something happens and all this digital stuff that we love goes away at the flip of the switch. Analog stuff's still going to be there, even if it's resorting to just reading a map and knowing how to navigate from there. Back in the mid-90s, my mom, my sister, and I took a trip from Michigan down to Mammoth Cave, Kentucky. The whole way down, we had the road atlas, and we tried to figure out where are we on the map. So we learned how to read a map even from there. Now we just have GPS, and most kids probably couldn't find their way across the street via a map, let alone across state. Exactly, exactly, Scott. GPS doesn't always work. Whenever I have to travel somewhere, I look at a map to see, okay, where is it on the map, so I can know have a better idea. So the turn-by-turn directions, they can get confused. But if I know where it is on the map, and I can see street signs, I should be okay. And that's why I'm practicing the skills with VOR, not using a magenta light, not using GPS, just figuring out where am I going, how am I going to get there the old-fashioned way. That's a good skill for them to have, Scott, and I applaud you for teaching that. And I'm glad that I learned that in my Army basic training. I'd love to relearn, get back into it, have a refresher course, because it's an important skill to have. 100% Kozaki, 100%. Now, I'd love to learn IFR. I need to get VFR down, and I need to get the PPL first before I get, too far ahead of myself. But, having those basic skills is just invaluable. You couldn't put a price tag on it, how valuable those skills are. Basic ordnance survey map reading supposed to do to go to get. Good skill to have. I forget what we use. Type of maps. I can say a solar storm which occurred some years ago, taking down satellites on Earth, but the yeah. But even something like that, a solar flare can take everything out. Always good to have a backup. 2 is 1, 1 is none. As the old saying goes. Okay, so we've officially lost our VOR at about 40 miles out, which gives us about 19 miles left. So we're going to just go back to heading mode. And that should at the very least put us in the ballpark. So if we keep on this heading, we still have the Atlanta VOR, which is a much more powerful VOR. So as soon as this starts getting, towards the center, we'll know that we're at least on the right radial to find our airport and the speedway. Wolf de Fear is here. How you doing, dude? To be a complete pilot, you need to be comfortable with both VFR and IFR. VFR for when the instruments fail, IFR... No, 100%. And that's why the base skill is always with VFR, because that's a lot easier to do. IFR gets a bit more complicated because you have to trust the equipment in the airplane, and you have to understand how to read them and how to use them properly. So you're absolutely 100% correct, Wolf. But there's also why there's the progression of VFR to IFR. Still jam CPS from time to time, yeah. 100%, Scott, 100%. And that's why I do what I do. Okay, so there's this lake head coming up. I'm gonna look over on Sky Vector, which is essentially a fancy sectional map. I'm gonna try to find this lake. That lake may be near the speedway. No. Okay, we're to the south. We're actually to the south, so we need to... head a bit north. Kozaki 1 to 5, 50,000 map sectionals. Yeah. Grid squares. I've got my compass, or not my compass, the protractor. I need to get maps though. Okay, so there's the lake there, and it's gonna be maybe a little more. May not even. Gotta be. Say the magic words over the phone and use. Hello, Mr. FBI agent. Always say hello. Always say goodnight to your FBI agent before you go to bed. Because they're always listening. That might be it right there. That's got to be it. How about that? We found it. Smart to have DNS system which supports GPS. It goes back to have two is one is none. And NSA, FBI, you know, they all kind of work together nowadays. Bed boys, the alphabet boys. Everybody has an agent. Why did my gear just go down? Oh, I just about overspeeded my gear. That's awesome. If you aren't on 3 watches and need to try harder, yeah. Ain't that the truth? Hey, like the program, how you doing? No! Well, Asoa's probably pressing buttons, but it ain't me. Okay, we're gonna head west. We gotta find... So that wasn't it, but we're in the right area. That's not. That's. How you doing, like the program? I always got tickled to John Wayne films Green Berets at Fort Benning. You're on the wrong side of the lake if you look at the map. Speedway's on the west side of the map, heading west. I'm not highway. Maybe I was looking at the wrong lake. I think that's what it is. I was looking at the wrong lake. I turned too soon. I turned too soon. turned too soon because I was looking at the wrong lake. See, this is how we learn. We make mistakes and we learn. No worries. We're just getting lost down near Atlanta. So we're really looking to intercept this. Need a moment. It's not fun not being able to breathe out of your nose. So Money says that they all found the racetrack. The only time I've been to Atlanta was I flew in, waited around for a couple hours at the USO, and then took a bus to Fort Jackson. Yep, I was flying around, seeing what it was like in the outskirts of the tropical storm Elsa. Ended up with the CTD. How you doing? Pardon me. That's an interesting area. Atlanta has a lot of airports and a lot of nav aids going around and a lot of nav data to load, so it gets a little stuttery around Atlanta proper. Yep, I was on the wrong side of the lake because I was looking at the wrong lake on the map. I made an oops. Again, that's how we learn. We make mistakes and we learn from the mistakes. Just hope that it doesn't, cost the ultimate. See. Full mixture. Back on the throttle. Gonna fly over the field. Plenty of camping and parking. Your heart's content. Ozaki and Manuel Cash, if I can speak words good, has landed on the speedway. So it was just announced yesterday or the day before that this is getting another reconfiguration. The last time that the Atlanta Motor Speedway was reconfigured was after the 1997 season. Prior to the 97 season, or the 1997 season, and before, this was just a regular oval, a 1 mile-ish oval. They reconfigured it to be its current configuration. But the next round of the newly announced reconfiguration, they're going to increase the banking, in the turns, reduce the width of the track, of the racing surface, and repave it in general, which you kind of have to do anyway. So that should be interesting to see how that impacts racing. Because Atlanta is already one of the oldest tracks on the NASCAR circuit. Okay, gear down. This time I actually wanted to put the gear down. Okay, we're going to put the fuel pump on. We're going to switch to tank. Up. Take a bunch of flaps. We're gonna reduce power by a lot because we're really above the glide slope. See the shadow there on the ground? Shadows. Oh goodness. We got one red. Doing a close approach behind Bodip. Power on so we don't go below. Full flaps on glide slope. Throttle idle, smooth touchdown. So we try not to run into Bodip. Slide the nose wheel down. And we managed to not have an incident on the runway. And you know it's hot and humid down in Atlanta, so we gotta get some air flowing in it. Off the runway. Landing light and strobe lights come off. Realistically, we can also get rid of the nav lights. And we're just gonna park it right off the taxiway over here. How did you get aircraft type to display in multiplayer? The name tags? It's the CPPR nameplates. Not a problem, dude. Okay, parking brake set. E comes off. Transponder off. Radio off. Oh, I said. Oh. You. Off. Off. Pump off. That off. Off. Mags. Fuel off. You have a good night, EL. Glad to have you along. All right. Druid Zeus down. We got everybody out over yonder. There's Kozaki. We got Manuel Cash. Not sure who that there. Bodip. Yonder. There's Druid. Scorpio right there. And here's Sean Lego Man. Oh, watch out for Druid. Oh, no. Woohoo, saved it. Nice. Very nice, very nice. Well, thanks everyone again for joining me for the Chase the Cup series. It's always a pleasure having everyone along flying. Even those just lurking in the chat or chatting in the chat. You know, it all means an awful lot to me, to the new follows, to the new subs, the gifted subs. You know, what a wonderful day. So I want to thank you all very much for coming along and having fun with the stream. Let's see, we're going to see who's online. See if there's anybody to raid. We'll raid him, why not? So, until next time, Saturday we'll be iRacing in. We are going to be doing a 90-minute race with practice and stuff and all that jazz at Bolton Park in the BMW M4 GT3. So, stay tuned for that. But until then, be good to each other. Stay safe out there. We'll catch you next time. Stay tuned for the raid.